What's up, folks? It's the Sportsbook Killa UFC Fight Night, Vegas 89. We're going to start with the heavyweights. Muhammad Usman going up against Mick Parkin. Muhammad Usman, he's mostly a wrestler, but he has very weak takedowns. His boxing isn't that good, and he has weaker cardio. Mick Parkin is a jiu-jitsu purple belt. He trains with Tom Aspinall, and he has really good boxing. So I'm going to be riding with Mick Parkin on this one. He's undefeated at 8-0. Muhammad Usman is 11-2. The sports books have it almost even, but they have Mick Parkin as the favorite by almost 1.5 to 1. So I'm going to be going with Mick Parkin on this one. I think that if it goes to the ground and Usman attempts to do some wrestling, I think that Mick Parkin's the better person fighting on the ground. And I think that Mick Parkin has the better boxing. So I have to go with Mick Parkin, and I'm going to be taking an under 2.5 round prop on this one. The next fight, we have the flyweights. We got Igor Severino going up against Andre Lima. Both of these fighters are undefeated. Igor is 8-0. Andre Lima is 7-0. This is a really kind of like pick 'em fight. It's tough to pick who's going to win this one. But I tell you what, both of them are really good at jiu-jitsu. But Igor Severino, I believe, has the better striking. He has the better stand-up game. However, Andre Lima trains with the Gracies. So his jiu-jitsu is more than likely going to be better. And if I had to bet, which I'll try and stay away from this fight, but if I had to bet, I would probably take a chance on Andre Lima because the fight's more than likely going to go to the ground, and I think he's going to be the better ground fighter. Next fight, we got the bantamweight women's division. We got Montserrat Rendon going up against Daria Zelaziakova. Hold on, let me try to say that again. Daria Zelezniakova. I'm sorry. Montserrat Rendon, she has a pretty good stand-up game. She's undefeated. She's 6-0. Neither of these ladies have fought like real serious competition, mostly local competition. But I'm gonna be going with Montserrat Rendon because, man, she looks better as far as athletically, and I think she'll have the better striking. So I won't put a whole lot of money on this fight because, man, who knows what can happen in this one. But if I have to bet, I'll sprinkle a little something on Montserrat Rendon and take my chances that way. Daria, she has okay boxing, not crisp, it's not technical, but she is a hard puncher. So I would render I would have to say the only chance she really has in this one is a puncher's chance. I don't think she can outbox Rendon. So I'll be taking Montserrat Rendon in this one, and I'll throw a little something on the over 1.5 round prop. But like I say, I won't be putting too much money on this fight right here because it could easily go the other way. Next, we have the featherweights. We got Jarno Aarons going up against Stephen Nguyen. Jarno Aarons is a judo brown belt. His takedown defense is rather weak. His ground game is rather weak. And his takedowns are rather weak. So it's really hard to bet on him. Stephen Nguyen, he's a versatile striker, pressure fighter, has a very strong chin and good cardio, but I don't see anything that makes me want to where I can get excited betting on him. So I'll leave him alone. This one will be up for you guys to select. I don't even know. I looked at both of these guys fight, and I just can't see an angle here. So good luck with that one, y'all. I can't even pick that one. I'll just stay away from that one. Next fight, we got the bantamweights. Miles Johns going up against Cody Gibson. Now, this one gets really interesting because you start to wonder why the UFC is making these rather weak fights. Miles Johns is a former wrestling champ, actually, but he has very weak takedowns. His fight style is rather boring. He usually backs up the entire time, no matter who he's fighting. he's always backing up. It's a little nerve wracking. And Miles John's going to be going up against Cody Gibson. Cody Gibson is a school teacher slash MMA fighter. So I don't have anything against school teachers, but I want a full-time fighter in there. I want somebody that's, I'm not going to go with Cody Gibson on this one. I'm not going to go with Miles Johns on this one. I have a very strong feeling that this fight will be rather boring, but it probably will last a long time. So I'll just be betting on the over 1.5 round prop, and I might throw a little something on the over 2.5 round prop. But I don't see an angle for this fight right here. Neither fighter looks impressive to me. So all I'll be betting on in this one is the distance. Over 1.5 and over 2.5 rounds. Next fight, we got the featherweights. Ricardo Ramos going up against Juliana Rosa. Now, this fight should be pretty interesting. Ricardo Ramos gets really good takedowns, but the problem with his takedowns is he can't hold his opponent down. He can get him down, but he can't hold them down. So it becomes a little irritating watching him, get a takedown real fast, but then not be able to keep the guy on the ground. Juliana Rosa is a very hard puncher. He's a versatile striker with really good cardio, but he has a weak chin. He's been knocked out a couple of times. Not that he'll have to worry about that in this fight. I think that if Ricardo Ramos has a path to victory, it'll probably be taking him down and maybe getting a rear naked choke or an arm triangle choke or something like that. I don't see him KOing Juliana Rosa. So I'm going to take a chance on Ricardo Ramos. Once again, this is not one of my more confident picks, but I'll throw a little something on him to see what he does, and I'll take the over 1.5 round prop as well. Next fight, we got the lightweights. Kurt Holobaugh going up against Trey Ogden. This should be somewhat interesting. Kurt Holobaugh is a jiu-jitsu brown belt. He has good cardio. He's a hard puncher, but his striking is rather weak. He is a pressure fighter. Trey Ogden is a jiu-jitsu black belt, versatile striker, has a great ground game, but very weak takedowns. Kurt Holobaugh is going to be the harder puncher, no question. Trey Ogden is going to be the better fighter on the ground. So I say this because I have a strong feeling that Trey Ogden can outpoint Kurt Holobaugh in the striking, provided he don't get hit with a knockout punch. And if the fight goes to the ground, Trey Ogden, I think the odds just shift dramatically in Trey Ogden's favor. So I'm going to take a little small chance on Trey Ogden. I'm going to pick him to win. And I'm also thinking this fight will probably go over 1.5 rounds for sure, maybe over 2.5 rounds. So I throw a little something on the over 1.5 round, and then maybe a little something over the over 2.5 round prop as well. Next fight, we have the featherweights, Fernando Padilla versus Luis Puello. Man. All right, Fernando Padilla is a 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. He has a strong chin. He's a hard puncher. Everything I saw on Luis Puello, it just didn't look impressive at all. I couldn't even write down any good things that I saw that he did in the cage. So I'm going to go with Fernando Padilla on this one. And I'm guessing this fight will probably go the distance as well. So it'll probably go at least over 1.5 rounds. So I'll take Fernando Padilla and over 1.5 rounds. Next fight, we have the featherweights. We got Billy Quarantillo going up against Youssef Zalal. I'm going to be rolled. Well, let me give you the ballistics first. Billy Quarantillo is a jiu-jitsu black belt, very strong chin, hard puncher, good cardio, and he's a durable guy. He can take a lot of punishment. Youssef Zalal is a very versatile striker. He's a hard striker. He's a jiu-jitsu brown belt. He has a good ground game and good boxing and good cardio. So I'm guessing this fight will go on for a while because both of these guys like to stand and strike. Billy Quarantillo, his style usually is just keep coming forward and let the guy keep throwing and throwing and throwing and beating you up until the guy runs out of gas. Then you take over. And I'm not so sure he'll be able to use that strategy to his advantage against Yusef Zalal. Yusef Zalal got pretty sharp striking, and he has good cardio. So I'm going to take a chance on him. It's not one of my it's definitely not one of my stronger picks, but I'm going to take a chance on the upset and take Yusef Zalal on this one. And I'm definitely going to take the over 1.5 and over 2.5 round prop on this one. Next fight, we got the bantamweights. Peyton Talbot going up against Cameron Simon. Cameron Simon this guy has a good ground game. He has versatile strikes, good cardio, and good grappling. This dude is nothing to play with. Peyton Talbot, he can punch. He's a very hard puncher. He's a versatile striker, and he has a strong chin. He has an okay ground game. I'm going to take my chances with Peyton Talbot, but I warn you guys, I wouldn't put too much on this fight because if Talbot lands a hard punch, the fight could go his way. If Cameron Simon gets going in this fight and fights the way he can fight, oh, man, it's going to be probably no contest. I mean, Simon is just relentless. So I'm going to take a small chance and put Peyton Talbot in a parlay and see what he does. I'm definitely going to be taking the over props. Be betting the over 1.5 round and over 2.5 round props. Or I may even bet, that the fight starts the second round and that the fight starts the third round. Next fight, we got the middleweights. Edmund Shabazian going up against A.J. Dobson. Now, this is almost like a skill-wise, close to even fight. It's going to be very interesting. Edmund Shabazian, he's a karate black belt. He's a very versatile striker. He's a hard striker. He has great boxing, really good takedown defense, but he has poor cardio. A.J. Dobson is a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, versatile striker. He has great takedown defense and a very strong chin. I'm guessing this fight will at least last over 1.5 rounds. I'm going to be taking Edmund Shabazian on this one. And the reason is because I love the way he fights. I can't commit too much money to him because he has a tendency to fade right around the end of the second round. And A.J. Dobson is the wrong guy to fade against. He can strike, and he will stand and strike. And if he has a ground advantage, he'll take you to the ground. So I'm going to go with Shabazian because I like his striking better. And I like the way he fights better. So I'll take Shabazian, and I'll take the over 1.5 round prop and maybe a little something on over 2.5 round prop. Next fight, we got the heavyweights. It's a very interesting fight. We got Carl Williams going up against Justine Tafa. Carl Williams is a really good wrestler. Good takedowns, but poor cardio. He usually fades at around that midway through the second round. He tends to start to fade. He can wrestle. He can grapple relentlessly. He can keep taking you down. Justine Tafa is a big man for him to constantly be taken down. So even if he does get him down a few times, you still have to be concerned about the cardio, taking down a man that big and trying to hold him down. Justine Tafa is, I think everybody knows, he's a jiu-jitsu blue belt. So he's not really a takedown guy. He's not a ground guy. But man, can he punch. He has real KO power. And he can box. So, and from what I've seen in his fights, he has decent cardio for a big man. So, it's going to come down to this. I haven't really picked a fighter in this one. I tend to lean more towards the wrestler in these fights, but it's going to come down to this decision you have to make in this fight. Do you think Carl Williams can get the takedowns on Justine Tafa? If you do, you bet Carl Williams, you take the over because the fight going to go a long time. If you think Justine Tafa is going to touch that chin, because all it takes is one hit from him and he can put you to sleep. If you think he can touch that chin before getting taken down, then you go with Justine Tafa and you take the under. It's pretty much that simple. like I said, I lean towards wrestlers, so I'm more than likely will probably throw a little something on Carl Williams, not a lot, and I'll definitely take the under 2.5 round prop to see what happens. Next fight, the main event, we got Amanda Ribas. These are the flyweights. We got Amanda Ribas going up against Rose Namajunas, Thug Rose Namajunas. Amanda Ribas is a judo black belt, a jiu-jitsu black belt, versatile striker. She has a really good ground game, and she has really good takedowns. She can punch. Rose Namajunas is a karate black belt, taekwondo black belt, jiu-jitsu brown belt. She's a hard striker with a really good ground game. I'm going to be rolling with Thug Rose Namajunas on this one. I'm going to bet that the fight probably at least makes it to the 4th round. So I'll be taking the over 1.5, 2.5, and probably over 3.5 round prop. And I'll definitely go with Rose Namajunas.